Well, hey, y'all, it's the Cryptid Huntress. I'm Jessica Jones, and I am obviously having some technical glitches tonight. Let me tell you guys something. I had to go buy a brand new computer today. Okay. And the new one that I bought is not syncing up with my audio. So I'm on an old computer tonight, and I don't know. Whenever I have a really important target, all hell breaks loose. Okay. And tonight is no different. So if I have some lagging, if I am just, I don't know what's going on, y'all. I apologize, but I am trying my best. And I do have a brand new computer sitting right here. It's useless tonight. Okay. But anyways, we have a wonderful show for you guys tonight. If nothing else, hopefully you guys can hear my audio. And it may not be syncing up with my lips, but who knows? I don't even know. Okay. But anyways, we are going to be looking into who is behind the targeting of individuals, and we actually have Deserie Foley here in the studio tonight, along with Barry Littleton, and we're going to get into the technology behind the energy weapons that are potentially targeting individuals across the world, across the United States, and it does have ties to the secret space program and other programs in energy weapons as well. And Deserie is with an organization called Mind Nexus, and Mind Nexus has they have some testing they can do on people who believe they might be targeted individuals. And we're going to get into all that tonight. And I have remote viewed, like I said, who is behind this targeting. And the answers that we're going to be diving into tonight are quite extraordinary. Okay, so please, you guys, if you'd love to see this data, if you'd like to see the data and follow along with all the remote viewing data tonight, please go over to my website. That's thecryptidhunters.com. Go to the Patreon. I do have the links all on my website, but if you go to Patreon, you can find all the raw remote viewing data for this target there tonight. So thank you to all my Patreon members. You guys mean the world to me. And good Lord, I'm afraid if I hit a button, all hell will break loose over here. But that's my website, thecryptidhuntress.com. And of course, here's the link actually for Patreon. If you guys are interested in that, all the data is there on Patreon tonight. Okay, well, let's get into our show, y'all. And we have a lot to discuss tonight. Okay, so let me read you guys the actual get is truly controlling the multiple organizations that the Mind Nexus group has traced non-natural human frequencies back to that targeted individuals are emitting. Some of the frequencies traced by their nonlinear junction detector scanners and different frequency detectors have shown through spectrum analyzing that some of these frequencies have an origin with places like MILSAT, Altel, IBM, universities, and medical institutions. This target that I was tasked with by Barry Littleton was recommended by Deserie Foley. She's the co-founder of Mind Nexus, and she is she's the co-founder of Mind Nexus and Cosmic Clarity Connections LLC. For over a decade, she has been a strong advocate for human rights, working to raise awareness about overlooked issues and amplify the voices of those seeking justice. Her natural ability to connect with people and build meaningful relationships has been instrumental in bringing the Mind Nexus team together. By fostering team trust and collaboration, she has helped unite experts, researchers, and affected individuals under a common mission. Her work centers on community building, advocacy, and creating spaces where people feel heard, supported, and empowered to take action. Her dedication to networking and champion human rights continues to strengthen the reach and impact of Mind Nexus on a global scale. Through advanced radio frequency and nonlinear junction detection scanning, Mind Nexus helps turn unexplained experiences into clear documented evidence, giving leverage for legal, medical, and advocacy action. The organization documents anomalous frequencies with professional equipment and provides both written and video reports. Their scans are not a medical diagnosis. They detect anomalous frequencies around a person, not inside the body. Findings are for informational purposes only and can support personal investigations. And of course, this show tonight is for entertainment purposes only, as always. And I would love to welcome our guest tonight. We have Deserie Foley here, and I will first introduce Deserie to the Cryptid Hunters channel. Hello, Deserie.
Hi, everybody. I'm Deserie Foley. I'm with the co-founder of Mind Nexus, and thank you for that introduction. And that you sound amazing.
Oh, good. Well, at least my audio is good. Okay.
Yeah, it's good.
It's looking wonky over here on my end, but it's all good. Hey, at least we're here. I'm here, and I may not be clear, but I'm here. Okay. So I feel like something has gone on. Like I literally had to buy a new computer today because all my electronics just went haywire this morning, and I lost my computer. Yeah.
Oh no.
I don't know. Hopefully it's not from this Target, Barry. I'm gonna get you, Barry. I'm just kidding. but hey, it's all good. And we do have a podcast as well. I do put all these on podcast platforms. So if there is a discrepancy with the video and audio, go listen to me. Go listen to my podcast, y'all. It'll be over there too. But thank you for being here, Deserie. It's wonderful. I can't wait to get into the discussion tonight on this, and I am super excited. And of course, we have Barry Littleton here. You guys know Barry from being on my show a lot, but he is I'm going to call him the OG. He's an OG in the disclosure community, and he has his own YouTube channel. It's called Barry Littleton. Please help me welcome to the show our good friend, Mr. Barry Littleton. Hey, Barry.
Hey, greetings. What's happening? What's up, Deserie? What's up, Jessica?
Hey
I
guys.
am very much looking forward to this. It's interesting because when kind of just a little background that when I met Deserie, and actually we're all at the same conference at once, and I really was curious. Like it was the Journey to Truth conference. What's it been, almost 3 years ago by now?
Yes.
Yeah, and it was, and I wondered, like, because those cats are really cool. I like them, but some of the modalities and some of the stuff they deal with is a little bit different than the experiences I've had. So I knew I was being summoned there kind of by spirit to meet somebody. And I knew it was important. And it was definitely both of you. So it's an honor to be sitting here with you, and kind of just a little background. Deserie and I kind of hit it off as we're at the after party that Scott Savoy had thrown at this conference. And we're kind of standing in the kitchen and we're kind of partying a little bit. I'm not a guru, so I don't care. But we were hanging out and I didn't know her story at all. And then when she started telling me everything, we were sitting there with Deserie. We must have talked for about 3 hours.
Yeah, it was about 3 hours.
Yeah, and you're the first person I've ever seen that not just did you back up some of the things that I was told during my experiences about the frequencies that we come through when we incarnate here, but also you are the first person to ever show me scientific documented evidence of your body having scans and emitting these different frequencies. And I'd never seen anything like that. It was just incredible. So you've been doing this a long time. I think people should know that. In fact, just somebody who's somewhat popular in this community just attacked the HE double hockey sticks out of you at some point. And I can remember when you came up to break the ice with me, you said, you're right. There are not many black people in this, but man, there are no Mexicans. And it just really got me to laugh. And that was a great way to break the ice,
Oh,
and then we got to talking a lot, and just the things that, and the next thing you said was, you said, Barry, man, I've done all that stuff. I've been around the hybrids. I've flown the ships. I've built the weapons. I've done all that stuff. And it wasn't real. It was part of a simulation. And you broke it down and then showed the evidence, and it was incredible. And then somebody started yelling at you going, you don't understand. I was in the middle of the earth with the endocrine and the spider creature, and they were really going off on you. And you just kind of went, I can't speak for you. I can only speak for me. What happened to me was not real, and I can prove it. And since then, we've always been cool, and you've given me a lot of information. So thank you. I'll shut up now, but I just want to break the ice and how everybody knows how we all got together. That was a great conference. Journey to Truth is really cool, and it's an honor to be here with y'all.
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, so I can touch on that a little bit if that's okay, Jessica.
Please do. Yes.
Okay. So what led me to this community was that I was having they were dreams. It wasn't like me physically going and doing these stuff, but if this happens enough, the dreams turn into memories. So I started having these dreams of just like being on, ships and doing, just like all this like sci-fi stuff. And so I started to Google um, secret programs or black project programs, and just anything that I can get my hands on. And I came across this community, and I was so intrigued. I was like, "Oh, I found all the answers here. So this is, my family here." So I started on this rabbit hole on trying to like figure out like, am I part of this or am I different? Because what I found with myself is that yes, I was having these experiences, but I've also had experience here on Earth in this reality, not in dreamland. In this reality, I had stuff happening to me, and a lot of the people in this community. I'm talking about the SSP community, not so much the spiritual community. Were also, they didn't have the same thing happen to them. So mine was like a little different, and I was trying to put it together, but I still wasn't sure. I was kind of like just kind of entertaining it that I could be part of this SSP. And the more I started communicating with some of the individuals, I found that first of all, I found that a lot of them were stealing my stories. And I would like say something about something very personal, and then I would find out that that person was just stealing my information. And then I was like, okay, so this, I got to get to the bottom of all this. So I actually met a doctor who is a I guess she's an expert in nanotechnology. She's a toxicologist. And I had told her some of my experiences that I was having. And I was like, I'm having all these experiences and this bizarre stuff. And she had me send a hair follicle to her lab so she can test it. And she tested it, and it came back with about 6 or 7 different kinds of drugs. And one of them was, I tested positive for a large amount of nanotechnology, and also some kind of like radioactive. I would have to like look it up to see what it was. And she told me, she goes, Desiree, if you have this in your body, she said, this is the formula to make self-assembly, self-replicating semiconductors.
Wow.
And I was like, okay. I mean, I already knew, because there was like so many other things that I was experiencing that I kind of knew, but I was like, no way. I'm like, okay, so finally I got some kind of evidence. You can, even if you took all these other experience that I was having and just focused on the medical data, and say, okay, there's something going on in her body. So I had the doctor had referred me to go get what is called a nonlinear junction scan detector. This was back in 2018. And when I went to this individual, I was asking, like, what if I go there and they turn it off, or they turn the frequencies off? And I had all these questions. I knew nothing about the technology. And then they're like, don't worry, this technology is so sophisticated that if it's turned off, it will send a harmonic echo and then turn it back on. And I was like, oh, cool. So I don't have to worry about anything. So I go to another state. I fly out to another state. I get the test done. And what it found was ferrous material, which is like silicone, which is what makes a semiconductor, which is like the same kind of device that would be in a cell phone. And it was like, multiple areas in the body. Again, this is just what the test says. It doesn't mean that that's actually there. Legally, I'm not allowed to say that it's a semiconductor until it's surgically removed, and I have to be really careful on how I say all this. Okay, so when that came back and they did, they were able to, I guess, do like a spectrum analyzer where they were able to see the frequencies that came with me. Let me back up to understand, for people to understand. So they do a baseline of frequencies, and there's frequencies all over the place. There's Wi-Fi, there's FM radio, AM radio. There's like frequencies constantly everywhere. So this individual would do a baseline of the frequencies in the room for 2 days, 2 or 3 days. And then I would show up, and then again, he would do a baseline of the frequencies, and then there was new frequencies there. And then when I would leave, he would do another scan of the room, and whatever frequencies left with me are the frequencies that were attached to me. And then when we were able to, look into own the frequencies, and I mean, it was stuff like, military subcontractors, there's universities, it was some Qualcomm communications, and it was like, and when I looked into it more, one of the entities was a company that was trying to merge humans with AIs, and this was back in 2018. So I was completely shocked that all this information, that I had, and then when I started really like looking into it about what the technology can do, it is able to send telemetry, which it can send and receive data, just like a cell phone, can. You know how you can call somebody if you know that number, it goes to that frequency to that phone and it calls it. It's the same thing, except for I can't call back. So, but before I keep going, is there any questions? I just like blah, 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 blah. Or can I keep
No.
going?
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Keep going.
Okay.
Yeah, this
Okay.
is fascinating.
Okay, so when I started to say, okay, so now I'm questioning everything that I've been through, now that I know that this technology is able to send and receive data, it's able to send dream simulations, it's able to send voices, it's able to send, and it's also able to decipher the inner voice. It's able to, I guess it's also able to it also sends these like directed energy weapons, and what that feels like, I don't know if you ever felt that. It's like starts on the head, and it's a little tingling, and it hurts, and it makes you like forget things, your short-term memory, vertigo, and there's all the like symptoms that come with it. So once I saw like what this technology is capable of, I started saying to myself, I don't think I was ever involved in any SSP stuff. I believe that it was a psyop to get me to believe it, for me to basically go into this community and say that I'm part of it, and then I would just be like another person in there. And I'm not saying that it's not happening to other people, because I can only speak for myself. But I know that it's not happening to me. And once I identified that, then the dreams kind of shifted to something different. So once I said, okay, that's that I'm no longer, that's not true, that's not happening. So the dreams shifted to other things. So that's how I got started, and what led me to doing Mind Nexus. So a little bit of background. I've been working with multiple thousands of people that are going through the same thing, that are complaining of the same issues. And I'm actually a vice president of a nonprofit organization called People Against Covert Torture and Surveillance. I've been with that nonprofit for about 10 years, and that I work with a lot of individuals. We come together as a group and we try to come up with solutions on how to expose this technology so we can get help for the victims that are suffering. And so I'm still in that organization. And when I'm, in that organization, I started to meet different people. 2019, I was in California doing a protest in the capital of California, was in Sacramento, and I was protesting there, and which I don't do that anymore. It doesn't help. Nothing comes out of it. So I went to go protest there, and I met an individual named Jesse Beltran. And I remember he showed up, he's like, okay, let's go have lunch. He showed up to the lunch. I had like 10 people with me that were involved with the protest. So we get to the restaurant, he's there. And I remember like sitting there with him and like looking at him saying, I have all this weird shit happening. Like, it's like a different layer on top of what this is happening. It's like a different layer. And I started to like tell him that there's something going on. Like, it's almost like the consciousness. Okay, I'll get to that, because this is all speculation, because I don't know. So I'll get to that. My theory is, because I don't have all the answers. So after I met Jesse, and we became really good friends, and you're gonna love him. We're gonna have him on the show. We just have to coordinate with our team, because he's a little bit more busier than me. So
Sweet.
I know. So we're gonna get him on the show. He's gonna love you. He loves everything to do with remote viewing.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Well, heck yeah.
He's a big fan.
Right.
And that's actually how we became friends.
Sweet.
Okay, so
Really?
we became friends because I have this interest with remote viewing, because you're gonna love this. I already had told Barry, you're gonna love this. Back in 2018, when I was working with the doctors, regarding my tests and stuff, I met another doctor that was working with the doctor that I was working with. Her name was Dr. Rima LeBeau, who was married to Major General Stubblebine, who was in charge of Project Stargate. Okay,
I was about to say, I know that name.
Yes. So
Wow.
I know, this is why, like, it's like right up my alley. Like, out of all the people I can meet, right? So I get to meet her. She's an amazing person. I get there, and I don't know anything about remote viewing, the Project Stargate. I had to go watch that movie, The Men That Stare at Goats, because I was kind of like, this is going way over my head. I don't understand. You're what? You're doing what? So
I know. Listen, I didn't even know what remote viewing was until I was taught remote viewing. I was like, what in the heck is remote viewing? Yeah, I'll learn it. Whatever. Teach me.
Right.
It's cool.
Yeah. See,
And here I am today.
I had no idea what it was, but I have all these doctors around me talking about this stuff. I'm like, well, obviously these really smart women are like going in and doing this, remote viewing and channeling. And I'm just saying, okay, so I'm sitting there and, just being part of what they were doing. And I was like, this is really interesting. This is really interesting. I'm like, I don't really understand it, but I didn't dismiss it. So I kind of like learned a little bit of information. She told me stuff. She had told me some things about, the journey of Major Stubblebine, and that there was like a connection between us three and why we met each other. And I'm still in contact with Dr. Rima today. She's a real good friend of mine. And so it was like really, that's how I got introduced to it. And I was like, okay, so what we started to do is we started more, it was more like kind of like channeling. And I'm not gonna lie, I was very skeptical, and I'm just like, what the hell is happening here? I was like, I need to go home. And I went home that night, and and I was laying in my bed, and this white ball of orb came into the room and then shot into my mind. It like shot into my mind. And I said, okay, I'm paying attention now. I'm paying attention now. There's something going on with this whole remote viewing, whatever you want to call it. And I'm interested. Let's do this. So so after I got it, okay, so go back to the whole Jesse. I told you that story to tell you this story. Okay, so after I told Jesse all that, he was very interested, and we became really good friends. And then I had did the documentary with the Edge of Wonder. And when I did that documentary, I mean, there was lots of people that saw that documentary, and it was called The Old World Order. So I met my boyfriend now, who watched the documentary, and he's part of the team. That's why I'm saying this. And I met him. He saw the documentary, called me up, and said, "Hey, are you real? Or are you an actress?" That's basically what he said. He wanted to know if I was real. So I tell me and my boyfriend, we make it official that we're going to have a serious relationship, and he's never had any spiritual stuff happen to him. Nothing. Okay, he's just like one of those people that just doesn't have any kind of spiritual experiences at all. So he has a missing time. And if you ever met him, you would know he's not forgetful. He doesn't forget things. He's very intelligent. He has a really clear memory. He's not like me, where I'm like, oh, he's just knows everything. Does not forget anything. So he has missing time, and he's really concerned. He said, "This is scary. This never happened to me before. Something is happening because now I'm hearing strange sounds." And I'm saying, "I'm sorry. I really didn't think that they would mess with you. Because I mean, I'm not that important. You know what I mean? Like, I really didn't think that they were going to mess with him." So, of course, I know Jesse, and I was like, "You know what? I think let me take you to see Jesse." So we fly out to Reno, and Jesse is using the JM20 Pro, which is an RF detector that only tests for active frequencies. So if it's turned off, it won't detect it. So that's the difference between the two devices that we use. We use one that will only test for active frequencies, and then one will test for active and non-active. So we get there, and my mouth just dropped when he came out positive for active frequencies that were emitting from his body. It's like they turned him on. Wow. He got turned on, and when he was turned on, he had missing time. And I was like, yes, it was turned on. That means the frequencies were turned on, because I have some more information. I have so much information. I just can't stop talking. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Wait, can I just interject something here just for a second? Because, I do Bigfoot field research, and I've been doing it for a long time. And from the very first time I went on a Bigfoot expedition out in the woods, I had missing time out in the field. And going back in the team, some of the guys remote viewing, some very seasoned remote viewers, by the way, went back to go see what had happened to us that night, because we had UFOs, we had red lights in the woods, all this weird stuff that was just out of place. They saw that we were actually kind of accosted by, well, it looked like a UFO, like some kind of orb thing, or a triangular looking craft thing was like floating over us. And what they saw was like holograms coming out from over our heads. And so it was almost like it's like, I'm not going to say we were chipped, but it's almost like there was something inside of us that thing, whatever that was like came and found us. I don't know what it was. It was able to access our records through that, like some kind of almost like a hologram kind of a thing. It was really odd. So that would make me think that like maybe I had something inside of my body. You know what I mean? But the missing time, whatever it was, kind of made us go to sleep, and then it did whatever it did, and then we woke back up. So that was the missing time. It's very interesting.
His missing time was driving, and he drove almost 10 miles in the opposite direction of his house, and he doesn't have any memory in how he got there. So yeah, so once we got him to get, tested, to get, scanned by Jesse, and then sure enough, he has some frequencies that are emitting from the TMJ, the nasal dorsum, the occipital, and all the common areas that we find, these frequencies that are, around the body. So he's pissed. He's like, oh, they F with the wrong guy. It was one thing that, they're, messing with you, but now they're messing with me. They're gonna messed up, right? And I was like, yeah, let's do this,
Get mad.
And
Get mad.
I
Let's
know,
do something.
get mad, get mad. So Jesse too, at the time, Jesse too was kind of like taking some time away and not really being public with anything. And I remember him, we're all sitting down and Jesse's like, it's time. It's time that we expose this phenomenon. It's time that we give it everything we have and fight. It's fight. Warriors. We need to be warriors. And me, Jesse, and Grady were like, okay, let's do this. And we've only been a team for almost a little bit more than a year. Okay, so we've gotten this far just in 1 year because I kind of feel like we have like almost like we're being guided, guided the way that we all met, everything that happened with all three of us. Our first clinic that we ever held was in January of last year, and we did it in Virginia, and it was around the inauguration because it just happened to be there. But it was there, and we got there, and we were even surprised that we were gonna do. We only had one device because that's all that we had. We had the RF frequency detector scanner, and 23 people signed up and paid to get a scan from us. This was the first one we ever had. And I remember, all these individuals coming up and the tears in their eyes. They need help. This is destroying their lives, that their family thinks they're crazy. And we were like, okay, so let's start documenting this. And then the more that we did it, we started doing sometimes 2 clinics a month, and then we started, to bring more money in, and all the money that we started to get from the scans, we started buying more equipment and more equipment. And then finally, we were able to buy the nonlinear junction scan detector, which cost us about $23,000.
Wow.
And we also had to send, you had to be certified. You had to go to school to use the device. And so now that's what Mind Nexus is doing, where we try to put Jesse on every podcast we could. And let me tell you something, guys. We started with Jesse. His first podcast he did had 200 followers. Okay. And
then you guys went on InfoWars.
Oh, I know. And then
I love me some AJ, by the way.
Yeah, we were on InfoWars, and then Jesse just dropped in on Redacted, and it's like we have millions and millions of people watching us now.
It's huge.
And the reason why is that it's not speculation. We are the top researchers in this field, and we're backing it up with science. And all of our scans can be proven. Even if we were to grab that individual and put him in a anechoic chamber, which does not allow any frequencies in or out, we can prove that that individual is still emitting frequencies. So that's why we've gotten so big. And then let me tell you guys something. This is gonna blow your mind. Are you guys ready? This is gonna blow your mind.
Yes.
Okay.
We're ready.
You're ready?
Ready.
Right.
Yes, ready.
It's not good news. Okay. It's
How do I
not
know
gonna.
that?
Okay. I don't know if I'm allowed to say some things. I don't want to get you censored. Am I allowed to talk about the jab?
Just call it the jabby jab or something.
The
Yeah.
jab. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to be careful.
Use some lingo, some extra special lingo with that. And it'll be
Okay.
fine.
The jabby jab. Okay.
The jabby jab,
So
whatever.
prior to the jabby jab, we were only like seeing and testing people that were symptomatic, that had symptoms. And those are the people that were coming to us, and we were scanning them, and they were coming up positive on the RF frequency detector and also the nonlinear junction scan detector. And after the jabby jab, it's still so funny when you say that.
You don't have to call it that. I was just kidding.
Okay, so
I call it that sometimes, but just the jab. Everybody knows what it is.
So my Nexus also holds retreats. And so our last retreat we had was in California, and we had a lot of people attend that are non-systematic or symptomatic, that are just, spiritual people or friends. I mean, you probably know them all.
Yeah.
If I named all of them, you probably know who attended our event. So nobody, everyone's there. We just bought the nonlinear junction scan detector, and it's like a new device that we had, and people coming to the event were like, hey, scan me, just for just for fun. We started to scan everybody. Every single person came out positive in the nonlinear junction scan detector. However, they're not turned on yet. Every person we have scanned has positive, yes. And that right there scared the living crap out of us. Okay. So before that,
what do you mean they're not turned on yet? What does that mean? They're not turned on yet? Like not activated?
They're not activated. They're not dormant. I mean, they're dormant. They're waiting. All they have to do is turn a switch on and aim a frequency at you, and they can turn them on. So this is where it gets.
And that's biosensors and semiconductors, correct?
Well, I'm not allowed to legally say that. I have to be really careful on my words, just because we're told is that I'm not allowed to say that. But okay, so when we use the nonlinear junction scan detector, it sends a harmonic echo into the body, and then it sends an echo back, letting you know that there's some semiconductor material in the body, and it also lets you know the percentage of it. It can say if it's 35%, then it means it's corrosive and it's probably not going to work correctly. But if it's 100%, then it's like ready to work. It's ready to go. All you have to do is send a frequency to it. So what is happening now is that of course we can't scan the whole world. We can't, obviously, but every single person that we've scanned has this semiconductor material that the nonlinear junction scan is detecting in their body, and they're just not turned on yet.
Real quick, you had mentioned also like the nasal cavities, and what all areas of the body do you find the biggest concentrations in of this technology?
Okay, it is the TMJ areas right here. TMJ is the nasal dorsum, the temporal, occipital, base of the neck, posterior base of the neck, anterior base of the neck. The what is it called? What is this called? Scapula. Scapula is in the back. There's scapula, and then it goes into the lower back lumbar. It's basically a whole wire network that is happening, and it's we don't understand why. I mean, I guess you could say we do understand why. That eventually they're going to turn this technology on for everybody. This is why we're getting so much people like jumping on to help us, because this is a transhumanism agenda. So I didn't mean to like drop all that on you guys right now, but that's what our findings are.
They're using also the wireless body area network for that too, is right? Correct? And
Well,
that's actually those areas too. Are they like the same?
It's almost like it's a AI nervous system. That's what's happening. It's like an AI nervous system. And the people like myself were the first wave of this technology, and we were like the guinea pigs of it. And this technology can mimic alien abductions. It could take away memory and implant memories. It could do all sorts of things, and we were just the first wave of being guinea pigs. And now, since they did the jabby jab, we believe, because we have multiple doctors that we're working with, that we're able to put their blood into a microscope, where after they got the jab, and they started seeing like circuitry into their blood, where these they were like lighting up, like, and they were moving. And they were also found that in the shots themselves, and there was parasites in them as well, and the parasites help build it. It works together, like with the nano technology. It works together to help build these self-replicating semiconductors. I know it's
just terrifying.
Deserie,
yeah.
when we're in person, you had showed me some documentation of the nano dust they found in your vents, right?
Okay. So what happened was my doctor that I was working with, the person who is an expert in nanotechnology, and I guess she had a lab where she was able to test for nanotechnology. And she had me put cotton balls in my air ducts and leave them there for 24 hours. Because I was like saying, how are they doing this? How are they doing this to me? And I sent it to her. She sent it to her lab, and the cotton balls came back, and they tested positive for high amounts of nanotechnology. So it was being put in my air ducts, according to the test. Like I said, I really don't know exactly what was being done. I mean, all I can tell you is what the test said. And that was like really scary, because I kind of like always suspected something like that was happening. And it's really sad, because I mean, you guys see me now, I'm like happy, I laugh, I smile, but I can tell you that this had destroyed my life, completely destroyed my life. And obviously I'm in the spiritual community where I did a lot of healing, and I knew that my mission was to come here to bring this information and expose it. So but yeah, when I first went through it, I had completely like lost it. I didn't I was having a hard time with what was real, what wasn't. And then also too, go ahead, Barry.
No, what are you doing with that? You have mentioned some of the targeted dream incubation that you've been through, where they're turning actually dreams into memories, those memories into reality. And then you've also cross-referenced that also with the hive mind and what's going on, and how that's kind of connected to SSP. So just maybe you don't want to talk, can you maybe hit
Let me
that a
touch
little bit
base
too?
on that. Yeah, I'll touch base on that. Okay. Okay. So yeah, this is okay. So I met a doctor who has unfortunately passed away, maybe about a year ago, and I'll tell you what happened. I met this doctor. His name is Dr. Robert Duncan, and we became friends. And he is a neurologist, and he worked for he went to MIT, Harvard. He worked for the CIA, DARPA, all these programs that he was involved in. And he helped with some of the voice to skull technology, and I mean all kinds of sorts of projects. And unfortunately, when he came, he actually wrote an email or a post letting us know that he's been compromised, and that basically saying that he's done. And he died not too long after that. We don't really have any like information. Oh, that's another target for you, Jessica. What happened to him?
Oh,
But
man.
yeah,
That's terrible.
That's too bad. He was a
yeah,
genius. I mean, he was
yeah.
really
He was,
forthcoming, and I think he was, he was deceased before people got to really hear him, which is a shame because he was intense. Kind of like him and Jesse are both on that level, you know.
yeah. So the only thing with Dr. Robert Duncan was he was a little bit more scientific. Like he wouldn't allow me to go and talk about spiritual stuff. He'd be like, "Let's talk about stuff here on Earth." That's what he used to tell me. But so this is okay. So I went to Duncan and I said, "Hey, I've been doing this, what I believe is remote viewing, but it doesn't feel like remote viewing." I said, "So let me tell you what I was doing." And this is a conversation that I had with Duncan, because I'm trying to get to the bottom of what am I really connecting to. So, and this was just on my free time. I was just like, okay, I'm going to try to remote view because I find it so fascinating. So I was in my house by myself, and I have to put something blindfold myself because my eyes, they start to flutter. Like when I go into a different state, they start to flutter and they want to open. So I have to put something to like make my eyes like keep them shut. And I told Duncan, I said, "Okay, so what's happening is that I see this in the mind's eye. Okay, it's not really it's happening in my mind. So in my mind's eye, I start to see this portal, and it starts like moving like this, and I decide whether I want to go in it or not. So I will go into the portal, and then I will try to remote view. And of course, what do I try to do? I try to go to where they have these devices so I can go there and try to break them. That's what I was trying to do. Don't mean that makes any sense to anybody, but that's what I was trying to do. So, and again, this was just for, just me just trying new things. And so what happened is I went through this portal, and all of a sudden I jumped into another person's consciousness. And I didn't try to do that. I didn't want to do that. I didn't know how that was done. I didn't purposely do it because I sure in the hell wouldn't like somebody doing it to me. Okay.
It's a little
So that,
intrusive, but
yeah.
that's
So
remote
yeah,
viewing too.
yeah. So that's why I said is that I didn't know how it was done.
You
So
were just a natural. That's what it is. You're just a natural. We're all
so
naturals, but like we just haven't been taught. Like not that everybody needs to be taught, but like this is something that's been suppressed for so long. Our psychic abilities and the abilities of just naturally as humans, we're all able to do that. People just don't tap into it.
yeah, so I was in there, and what I can remember is that I couldn't see like far. I can only see like maybe this far in front of me, but the rest was blurry. I couldn't see it. I can only see this much. So I kind of like looked around, and it was literally like an office. It was an office. But then when I like looked up, I realized that I was underwater. Okay, so I realized I was underwater, and then all of a sudden, I get thrown out. Flew back, and then my head started boom, 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 and it started like really like this feeling that I've never felt before. And I was like, oh, I was kicked out. I was literally kicked out, and I wasn't able to do it anymore because of what was happening to my head. And then, anyways, that story I told Duncan. I said, Duncan, was that remote viewing? And he said, no. He says, that was you connecting to the hive mind. And I'm like, oh my God. I was like, okay, what's the hive mind, Duncan? He said, that's how they it can work like a two-way street where they're able to connect with you. You're also able to connect with them, and it's called the hive mind, and that's what their super soldiers use to communicate, to visit each other or whatever. And I was, when Duncan told me this, and hearing it from him, who's not spiritual, he's not a spiritual person, he's, you know, super intelligent, genius, he's a genius, and he tells me this, and I'm like, oh, well, this is a whole different layer of stuff, because I don't even understand what the hive mind is. And I started doing more research and getting more information about the hive mind, and it just kind of like just blew my mind. And so he said that I wasn't remote viewing, and that's what I was doing.
Oh my gosh. That's fascinating. Super fascinating. You know, I mean, I do a lot of work with the secret space program survivors and stuff. And that's always been a question for my audience too, you know, because I come from a Bigfooting background, you know, and but also remote viewing as well. And I've done some interesting targets for some of the people who are survivors of the secret space programs. And yeah, it's an interesting rabbit hole to go down. Let's just put it that way. It's a very interesting rabbit hole to go down. But Barry, what do you have to say about all this?
So how much of the entire SSP phenomenon is really part of this hive mind and is being done through neuroprogramming? How much of the SSP is actually real, and how much of it is neuroprogramming, in your opinion?
This is for entertainment purposes only, everyone. So first, go ahead. Sorry, Deserie.
I don't know. I wish I knew that, because sometimes I believe that the hive mind can also be where you can share experiences, just like a virtual reality. But I can't say that, because I'm you know, I don't know. Like, I could be 100% wrong with saying that it's all being done, you know, with this technology. I could be wrong. I don't know, but I'm linked to it somehow. That's the only thing I know. But I wish I knew. If I'd just be, you know, speculating if I said.
And
then
you think
people might get mad.
a lot of it is dream engineering, would you imagine? Like in your case, per se?
Well, mine is dream simulations, and what happens with me is so let me try to think of one that just happened to me not too long ago. Okay, so this is a dream. Okay, this is not in real life. This didn't happen to me. This is a dream. So I'm dreaming, and I'm in my bed, and I'm laying down in my bed, and then I can feel myself going like this on top of the bed, like my body's moving on top of the bed like that, and I'm still like laying down, and then all of a sudden, in the dream, I start to rise and rise and rise, and then I'm now I'm past my roof. I'm past it. I'm going up and up, and in the dream, there's this ship that I see. There's this ship that I see, and then all of a sudden, my body merges with the ship, and we're not in space. This was, you know, the dream was happening here on Earth. And when I got into the ship, the dream didn't show me aliens. It showed me human military personnel, and I was debriefing them. And those are the kind of dreams that I was having. That's just one. And then there are other times where I had dreams where I was, you know, working with an alien race, and we were working on hybrids, and again, just dreams. These weren't real. And then other times I'll be on a spaceship where I'm a navigator, and I would be navigating the ship, and it was outside of Earth's atmosphere, and a lot. So it was like a lot of that kind of like stuff. And then I would remember. I remember during the dream, I know that sometimes I look at my body in the dream and I say, this isn't my body. You know, this isn't my body. And I know that it's not right, but I don't have any memory or anything about me living here on Earth. It's like it's my consciousness, but it's like something, but it doesn't remember. All I could remember is this is not my body.
See, you sound so much like some clients I've had where they start saying they're having these experiences. They're like dreams, a different reality, and there's another them. There's them
Mhm.
here, the person, but then there's another them that's the super soldier doing all this stuff. And I think when that takes us into these digital twins and how they can download consciousness into these digital twins and these other things, this is really fascinating, you know. And
Well, go ahead, Brer. I have something to say, so don't let me forget it.
yeah, no, definitely not. But because after that, I'll probably take us into kind of, if you could, like how you're able with the non-linear detection technology and the frequency counters, how to actually trace these frequencies. Some of these companies, you can trace them back to some of these companies and organizations, and kind of we'll go from there further because that starts involving the target too. But whatever you're gonna say, go on though.
Okay.
I just want to get that out before I forgot it.
What I was going to say, this is what I was going to say, like because of my work, I get to meet a lot of military people that have very high clearances. And I get to meet, I mean, just recently we met a physicist that worked for she was in the military. I'm not going to say her rank, and she had a very high clearance, and she worked on the space programs, but not the space programs like you think. It's just like, basically equipment out in space. So it's nothing like, oh, secret space it was nothing like that, but she worked on these projects. But I get to meet a lot of different people like that come to us to get scanned. I met this one individual that had very intelligent person. I believe that she's a college professor, so just gives you an idea of how intelligent this woman was. She did, work for NATO, and she has some government contracts, and she told me something that blew my mind. She said to me, Deserie, I have been told by my sources that they're going to Mars. Okay, they're going to Mars. And she said that what they're doing is they're copying people's consciousness and uploading them into AI. And then what happens is that consciousness goes into this AI and goes off into space, and their experience is bleeding through to the human, and that now they're having these experience that's not really them having. That was another thing that she told me. And I was like, oh my God, this is like so over my head. This is like a whole different layer of things that I also have to think about now, where our consciousness can be uploaded. It'll never be the true us, but it's a copy of us. So I'm sorry, Barry, I lost what question you asked me.
What kind of that's kind of with that. When you're doing the nonlinear detection scans and the other frequency scans, you're able to trace some of these unusual frequencies that are what radio frequencies and the others, but you're able to trace them back to certain companies. Like I know that MILSAT has come up, IBM, Altel. I saw that on a few things. Okay, so can you maybe describe how you do that? And then, because the reason why I'm asked that, because ultimately this target had to do with who is it, the prime intelligence that's controlling those organizations. Sorry, what's that?
She said she forgot about the target.
To do the target. Yeah,
okay.
I forgot that she still has to do the target. I'm so excited.
Yeah, that's all right. It's all right. It's all good.
No, we need the rundown.
But yeah, but so when you talk about that though, but just keep in mind, everybody, that was the target, was who is the main prime intelligence, the organization that is controlling those companies, those people. Who is the main one doing that? That's what that target was all about. Mm-hmm. So not just the frequencies, but the energy weapons as well. So anyway, sorry, I'll shut up, but that was what it was.
Okay, so this is what we can do. Okay, so say we got the individual that's having some symptoms like vertigo, ringing in the ears, and this is somebody that's having symptoms, and we take them and we put them in an anechoic chamber, which is I guess it's like, I wish I could show you a video. I don't have it in front of me of what
That's
Jesse
an
does.
echo-free, sound-free room, right?
Yes. Yeah. It doesn't allow any frequencies in or frequencies out. So we have a frequency counter that can detect frequency. So when you put him in this chamber and you were to put the frequency counter on it, it will detect the frequency that's emitting around their person. And then it's like when there's about 8 numbers, we do a low frequency and we do a high frequency counter. So we do two different, ranges of frequencies. And then entities have to license their frequencies. They just say like, MIT has a frequency that they use, and they have to license it with the FCC. So what we do is we capture those frequencies, and then we were able to identify who owns that license to that frequency, and basically that entity is abusing the frequency for experimental purposes. So, and what we're finding is it's all the military branches, including the Space Force. It's DARPA, it's Raytheon, it's MIT, Harvard, mostly all the big universities, some medical facilities, some tech companies, and it's literally a lot of these, entities are trying to, I guess, be the first one to master this technology. And that's why there's so many people coming forward and saying that this is happening to them. And all it is it's non-consensual human experimentation, and it is a transhumanism agenda.
Boom. See, now that's entertainment only purposes, real entertainment. That's real information right there. Yes. And it's something a lot of people are not talking about. And you heard it right here. I think that's important. You know what I mean? Sorry.
Right.
I'm getting all excited.
No, absolutely. We've been called the top researchers in our field. We are the only group that is doing this research. And because of it, we've had hundreds of people jump on board with us to help us expose this.
Now, for the second part, my friend Jessica. Okay, now we discussed the target and how we could go into how I got more than I planned again on another one of these shows. And the information you got, I was tripped out. I kept looking at it, at the data. Deserie's not seen it yet, so she doesn't know what it is, the data itself. So it's brand new in that way. So I'll shut my mouth, but you might want to go over it or whatever.
Okay.
It's just weird. The whole thing is weird and
well,
dangerous.
let me say what I asked her to remove. Well, I asked you. What I asked was a target for basically a command center or the person in charge of pretty much everything. Who's in charge of everything? It was like the command center. Like, where is it at? Where is it located? So there's multiple questions in that one target, but that's basically what it was. And I don't know if that's the intention you put out, Barry, but that's.
It was yeah. Who are the prime intelligence, the main ones that are controlling all those organizations? That is, who are the real puppeteers, behind the curtain? Because we see all these other things. It's like we've got these shadows cast on the wall. But what's behind that? You know what I mean? So that's what this was, and I didn't know what would come of it, but I knew it wasn't going to probably be positive. But hey, it is what it is.
Oh my gosh! Well, this all explains why my computer broke on me today, and it won't turn back on. And now, I mean, I'm having issues still with my electronics today for some reason. This never happens anymore, Barry. And,
I always try to bless the numbers and protect them and you before I give them to you. But maybe sometimes there's some nefarious activity beyond my scope.
Golly, I tell you what, the little computer demons got me today. But nonetheless, we're here. I've got some data, and the data is really interesting. I have 3 pages of data. And we'll go through all of it. So Deserie, what this type of remote viewing that I did, this mode, I'm trained in several different modes. And this is coordinate remote viewing. So what happened was Barry took your target and he assigned it a set of coordinates. And so those are a set of 8 numbers, and all I was given were those 8 numbers. Okay. That's all I had were those 8 numbers. So it has a lot to do with sensory data, the analytic overlay, my ideograms, a drawing, and a lot of other sensory data, page after page, stage after stage. And so I'm going to go over all of this with you tonight.
Okay. Awesome.
So this is out of 8 numbers. 8 numbers I was given. And so let's go over the sensory data for this. And if you have any questions, like what we'll do is I'll go through the first page of data and then I'll stop and then we'll talk about it and then we'll go to the next page. Okay.
Okay.
So, all right. So for my sensory data for this, I wrote down middle, in between, centered, dark, black, blank, down, flowing, unwinding, ingenious, stuck, sticky, cold, and preserved. Okay. And that may not make any sense to you, but I'm going to get into the analytic overlay. Okay. So the first thing, like I'm trying to make sense of my sensory data. And so the first thing I wrote down was host and host body. Reveal, reverence, going down, off balance, off kilter, free flow, downward spiral, fit and fittest, invention, inventor, choppy, sticky situation, grab and hold, in stasis, and held there. And then I drew like a picture of a spiral going downward. Like I kept getting a lot of downward spiral data for this for some reason. But yeah, it may not make any sense to you, but there's basically, I mean, the question was, who's behind this? The inventor. There's a host body. I mean, I don't know. What do you think about that? That's the first page of data. Does any of that make sense?
There's a host body?
Yes.
No.
Maybe we should talk to Barry. What do you think, Barry?
I think you should keep going, but I think of note is how prevalent downward spiral was, how that kept coming up, the downward spiral, and everything seemed to be involving a downward movement type thing.
That could be the satellites with the frequencies.
Here's my picture, my drawing. That's my drawing.
Because that's where the frequencies are coming. It's space-based weapons, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Well, let's go to the next page because there's a bunch more data. Okay, that's just the first page. Okay, the second page we got. I actually wrote down in facility, a facility in a facility, and I wrote there. So where I was at was in a facility or a lab setting, like a laboratory. And what I was seeing, this is really wow, because Barry kept asking me, like, what were you experiencing? I was seeing organic samples, like I was seeing basically containers that looked like they were holding bodies. Okay. And I actually wrote down organic samples, and then in parentheses, I wrote beings, and then I wrote hybrids with a question mark and babies with a question mark. And then I wrote hybrid program, alien human programs. And I wrote down, it was something, I was in a dimly lit room, enclosed, clean. I kind of felt like I was on it's almost like a spacecraft kind of a setting, kind of. It was kind of weird, but it was very much like a laboratory, very space age, let's just say. That's how I was feeling, like space age. And so I wrote down something that was round and circular, and I wrote down container, containment, supercharged systems, something that was like clean and sanitary. Like, so that's where I was. I was in some kind of room that was almost like a laboratory. So that was my second page of data. What do y'all think about that? Barry, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I've always, for some reason, I always thought that it was something that was underwater, only because of what happened with, when I connected with that hive mind. But yeah, but then, it is all space-based weapons. So all of this is coming from space, from satellites. And the command center, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it had something to do. I mean, our military is known to have back engineered ET crafts, and I mean, and I'm not, I'm not saying that it's ETs because I don't know, but it has crossed my mind.
Mhm.
What, go ahead and say it. Go ahead and say it, Jones. What's your famous saying that you got from your teacher? All roads lead back to what?
Back to ET. All roads lead back to ET. Yeah, that's right. I mean, that's with our cryptid field research, like with Bigfoot and the Dogmen and all that. There's always ET involvement, always, and that's just been our experience for decades of research.
Right.
There's some kind of ET connection, but I have one more page. Let's go over the last page because I think it's interesting. Because on this page we go underground.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think you already did in the very first page.
I think so too. But on this one, we definitely, well, I think I was, but this is blatantly underground, and it says it's under a small town in the suburb. Okay. So I was still getting a lab setting, and I wrote down medical or experimental with question marks beside it. And I kept getting this spiraling motion, and I wrote suspended in the air. That's what I wrote, suspended in the air. Technology, high tech, like high technology and AI. So artificial intelligence. And then I was like picking up on a small town, like in the suburbs. And I wrote down something that's hidden, wherever I was hidden. And it says hidden below, underground and below ground. Hidden underground. And that was pretty much all my data, because it was something that was under a small town in the suburbs and underground, hidden. And it was, I don't know, I guess it has to do with wherever I was at, whatever this lab is. There's some sort of a lab. It's almost like I was picking up that it was hidden in plain sight. But it was under a small town. I mean, I've literally done so much like remote viewing on targets that are like Davenport, Iowa, like, just like, I'm not saying that's a small town. I don't know. I've never been there. But it's like cloning facilities and all sorts of stuff, like right underneath like these little small towns in any town USA. You know what I mean?
Did you know what state it was?
I don't have a state. It just is. I just wrote down suburbs, small town, underground, below ground. Somewhere it's hidden below ground. And I mean, we could get deeper into this at some point, right? We could read. I was just given a set of numbers, and so this is just the data I got for those numbers. But we can always get deeper into it. I have a whole team of remote viewers that I work with.
Oh wow!
Yeah, we were all trained together. So this was just one target that I did, and but we could definitely get deeper into that if you want.
Well, thank you so much for doing that, because I always like want to know, and I always like, of course I'm like, okay, is it underground, is it is it in space, is it is it like, I don't know, I don't want to even say somebody's house, because I doubt that that's what it is. But I mean, it's happening to so many different people. There's so many entities involved now. And now it's like, okay, it's like a race to see who can map out and master the human mind. That's what's happening.
Yeah. Well, there's something weird. I mean, I got all this data. I mean, I think some of it pertains to this target. So it's like, I don't know if the target was like, who's behind it? I don't know. I mean, I was kind of picking up on like maybe where. I mean, unless you want to say ETs are behind it or something, but I don't know. What do you think, Barry? Barry's good at interpreting this data.
First, let me say that this work we've done often shows to not be the separate things and separate classifications that we think. And I want you to go back and compare this data with the data you got from the origin of the missing 411. It's amazingly similar. Underground lab,
right?
Underground subterranean water things.
Oh yeah.
That Deserie just mentioned. Okay. Also, even taking this back to like what Credo had said, He had woke up in a place where it was a lab like that. He's being experimented on and tortured by Greys, basically. And there was many people in there going through the same thing. That's what you saw in that missing 411 data as well. And when you start saying, first of all, when I listen to you talk throughout those 3 pages, it's very much, as you mentioned, Deserie, it's touching the satellite part, the in the sky part, and the atmosphere part, space. Okay, you dealt with that, but the origin of this stuff is coming from underground, and it's a major part of this hybrid project of some type. And it's these beings that are doing this hybrid project. It's kind of like these different Greys. We don't find out who the prime intelligence is behind that either, and behind them. It's not the tall whites. Okay, I'm sick of hearing that crap. It's not them. It's something else. It's something. Could it be an AR? Could it be something different? I don't know. And you know, Jessica, I've been thinking even more about. So Deserie, another target I had given her, a blind target, was on the Soho satellite. You can catch on the archives there sometimes around. It takes pictures of the sun like every 2 minutes or something, but it's got different nanospectrums, different colors you can see on there. And they've got like cubes. Sometimes you see cubes coming in out of the sun, around the sun, or these spears. And sometimes there's even people, if you get on YouTube, you can see some people have caught them, would appear to be blocking Earth-directed solar flares. Okay, so I gave her the blind target of what was on those cubes. And I was absolutely amazed to hear you start describing some type of AI that is built similar to skyscrapers, several of them inside these cubes. Remember? So we start dealing with this prime intelligence that's generating these phenomenon. And as far as dark forces, you know, the dark forces have used voices all the time to mess with us. And now they've just upped it to be in V2K. But it's the same stuff that these dark cats do. They're just doing it through technology now. Anyway, so what I'm seeing just is whatever the base of this hybrid project, whoever it is behind that, and the prime intelligence would be the next deep dive. Maybe different coordinates, I don't know. But that's what I'm getting from this. And just there's a bitch connection there between the missing 411, who's orchestrating that, and who's orchestrating this attack on targeted individuals. Do y'all feel me?
Yeah, we feel ya.
It's not good though. I mean, it sucks though. And the whole thing that you're saying too, when you keep saying host body and stuff like that, Deserie, that is completely describing that download you're talking about of consciousness into a digital twin or into a cyborg or something different. You're talking about stasis. Is that the digital twin still in stasis before they're let go? You know, Deserie, another one I had given Jessica ages ago. It was off planet target, blind target. It's a place called TRAPPIST-1, and it's a solar system that has like two planets in quote unquote the Goldilocks zone, the habitable zone. And when she's getting the data, she's messaging, goes, "What is this place?" She said, "Is this Earth in the future?" What'd you call them, Jessica? What, mid-risers, high-risers? What'd you call them?
Mid-rise apartments. Yeah, apartments. And highways and shopping centers. There was like J.C. Penney's and Walmarts and stuff. Maybe not pennies, but you know what I mean. Something like that.
And then the next thing she goes to is, I can't believe this is Earth in the future and they would allow open slavery like this. The slavery. And she kept nailing on the slavery again and again.
Yeah.
And and that caught me off guard. And in reality, it kind of reminded me of what Tony Rodriguez talks about, him being a slave and that type of a program, and combining that with what you're saying with the frequencies and that whole thing, and how that would be a perfect way 21 and back to download that into a digital twin to go terraform somewhere else. And that's kind of what you're describing there in that data. Or is it just my imagination? Is it just me drawing lines where there are none? I think not. Like to do with the hair. It's an aliens. No, I'm just kidding.
It's interesting. It's nice to hear different perspectives on everything. So, and but something that I do want to share with your audience is how can you tell if you're in a dream simulation? Okay, so I got this information from Robert Duncan, who worked on these projects, and I've already identified this. As soon as he told me that, I like, oh my God, you're right. Okay, how to tell if you're in a dream simulation versus a real dream? Well, first of all, a dream simulation plays like a movie. It's almost like it's outside of you. It has substance to it, and it has a different feeling, and they get the characters wrong. What I mean by that is that you might have your brother come in and talk to you, but it might sound like your dad or your mom talking out of him. That's a big one when you're in a dream simulation. They haven't figured out to get the characters right. And another thing that Duncan told me is that when they send you these dream simulations, they send you basically a scenario on what's going to happen, and then what happens is your mind will fill the characters in with your subconscious. So you might have your cousin and your uncle or someone you saw on TV, that because your mind will fill those characters in. Another way is that it glitches, and it glitches. And also too, if you wake up and you go back to sleep and it starts off where it left off, then you'll know that it's a dream simulation. So that's what information I want your audience to know.
Desiree,
is that
wait.
Only glitch you mean? I'm sorry, Jessica.
The glitch. Oh no, it's okay. No, go ahead, Barry, because I got something else to talk about.
Just the glitch. You mean that it will start over, like that type of a glitch, or like everything?
It will literally glitch, like in the dream.
In the Matrix.
Yeah, like a glitch in the Matrix. And you in the dream, you're not going to think anything of it. You'll be like, oh, yeah, whatever. But when you wake up, you'll say, wait a minute, that glitched. That wasn't right. That, or, my uncle sounded like my, sister or something like that. So that's how you can tell you're in a dream simulation. And also that it feels like, and there's a substance to it. And also too, a lot of times what can happen is when you close your eyes, you're not asleep yet, the simulation will start even before you're asleep, and you can see everything behind your eyelids.
Oh, wow. You know, there's something called micro dreams, and we can have almost full dreams in 1 second, where you've lived and died in 1 second. And, they were saying that was when you're just in the twilight of sleep, and that they were almost instantaneous, although they just last a second. They're finding now that they're like full dreams that can almost be a lifetime. And how much on that with that targeted dream incubation engineering. I can only imagine. So, sorry.
Wow. Something else that I wanted to bring up too is I've done 2 shows on the Mall World Dreams. And Desiree, I don't know if you're familiar with Mall World. Have you heard of that? Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
I'm losing you guys.
You're back now. I can hear you. Yeah, we're here.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay. You guys are
we're all
it's
glitching
very
out.
Slow, and then you guys keep going black. Yeah, you're glitching out like a dream.
It is. Oh my gosh. I think we're being targeted.
I'm sorry.
Tonight.
I didn't hear what you said.
Okay. Oh, okay. So I've done a couple of shows on these Mall World Dreams, the Mall World. Have you heard of the Mall World Dreams?
I've seen that on TikTok about the mall, and everybody sees the same kind of like dream, and they know the stores and the structure of the mall. I did see that on TikTok. Yeah. But I've never dreamed of it.
Well, people were kind of connecting that because there's thousands of people that are having this collective consciousness dream, which could be a hive mind kind of a thing, but they're calling it the collective consciousness of this mall world. And some of the people that are having these dreams are connecting it to the gate programs and maybe the secret space program in some way. So I don't know. I think it's connected to what we're talking about tonight, honestly.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. When I saw it, I was like, okay, I see this. I kind of like paid attention to it, but I try to see if I ever dreamed of it, and I never have. So, but yeah, it could be part of the hive mind. And what Dr. Duncan told me about, once you're connected to a hive mind, say me, you, and Barry's mind were connected, we will perceive the world differently if our minds work together.
Wow.
And we don't even have to know that our minds are connected. We will just perceive things in other dimensions. That's what he was telling me. Like he has a video that he gave me, a real video of these doctors that connected these monkeys' minds together. And obviously the monkeys don't know that they're connected, but they put together as a hive mind, and these monkeys were able to do things that they wouldn't be able to do individually. And then they were able to move a dot in 3D with all their minds working together. So it's just like interesting to know that if that were to happen to us, we'll start to perceive things differently. So I believe maybe that's what's happening to a lot of targets. I guess, of course, speculation. I don't know for sure. This is not part of our data. This is just my theories. I know a lot of people that are being targeted are talking about special abilities, that they're able to see with their minds, with their eyes closed. They can close their eyes and still see as if their eyes are open. A lot of people talk about being able to feel more like more empathy, empathetic. Not just like being empathetic, but like more like being able to actually feel what they're feeling. I know a lot of people talk about these frequencies that are being aimed at these individuals also opens another door to these other dimensions. And that's where these multidimensional beings are coming through and communicating with these targets, and they're seeing all these spiritual things happening to them because, speculation, I do believe that these frequencies that are aimed at them does open these other dimensions. Just
Wow.
yeah, just all the information and all the stories that people tell me, and all the like people telling me that these beings are coming in, when they're really being really targeted and bombarded with these frequencies. But it's been, a lot of information, like learning from all these people that are going through this. But yeah, I do believe that it does open up some kind of a portal. Just I was around this one individual that was being bombarded but with this frequency. I wasn't feeling it, it was just this person. And he I remember when he walked in the room and he's like pacing, he's like they're coming after me, and I'm looking at him, I'm like, okay, you're fine, nothing's happening to you. And as I'm staring at him, I realized that the wall was breathing. It's going in and out and in and out. Like there was some kind of energy field around this individual. And I was like, holy shit, I can actually see the field around him, whatever they're doing, because he was telling me that there was these invisible people that were, messing with him. And unfortunately, he killed himself not too long after that. Yeah, it was a very, 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 it was very, very sad, but I watched him go through this. And right, all that was happening to him, and he couldn't take it, and he took his life. He shot himself in the head. And yeah, so it's no joke. These experiments are harming people. And that's why, we're here to stand up against them and let them know that we do not give consent. We're not going to bow down to the AI God, because that's basically what they're creating.
Oh yeah. Oh my
So
God.
sorry, I didn't mean to get deep,
mean,
and not deep. And
I think it's great.
I do too. I mean, the first step is just putting it out there for the people to know about, because I think a lot of us have been suspicious that this was going on, but you guys are actually testing for all of this. You have proof of it, and you actually offer your services to the public, like to people, anyone who wants to be tested, right?
Right. Anybody that wants to be tested, they could either go to one of our clinics where we offer a discount We do charge for our test, and all the money goes back into our company to buy more equipment. We're basically building where there's going to be undeniable evidence, and that we're going to basically show the world that we're all under attack. It's just not the targeted individuals. It's every single person that we've tested has this that's been tested positive for technology. And that's from the nonlinear junction scan detector. It's coming out positive with some kind of silicon-based conductor. Legally, I'm not allowed to say that's what it is, but that's what the test is telling us. And we are having people that are having they're surgically removing these biosensors out of the body, and when they come out, they have basically like nanowires into it because it connects to the nervous system. But we are having people that are having these surgically removed in for further evidence.
Say that again so everybody hears it. One more time.
Which part, Barry?
Well, no, people ask all that all the time. You do remove them. They can be removed.
They
some
can
of these
be removed.
things.
Yes, the people
beyond what just Dr. Lear did, you know.
Yeah, it's the people that have the older tech that we can get those removed. Now we're talking about nanotechnology, so that's a little bit more tricky. I know that what we're doing right now is we're recommending people to purchase zeolite, not the synthetic one. It has to be the real one. And what that does is that it breaks up the graphene oxide in the body, and it takes it out. So that's the only defense we have right now. It's basically a band-aid. It's not going to stop everything, but it will slow it down. So I really highly recommend that product. That's the only thing. I take it every day, because it just helped me. Since I've been on the zeolite masterpiece, my symptoms have decreased by at least 60%. And I'm talking about, like, I don't feel the direct energy weapons like I used to. Before, it used to just take me down, or sometimes I couldn't remember or talk, or sometimes I would lose the ability to speak, and I would start to stutter when I was being hit with by these weapons. And so that medication has helped me. That's the only thing that we have right now against the nanotechnology.
And what is the zeolite? Is that the herbs?
Well, it's a natural substance, and again, like, I'm not like completely, like, I don't know. Oh, okay, let me try to describe it the way that I know. It's basically comes from the volcano when it erupts, and then it goes into seawater, and it turns into zeolite. And what it does, it's like, I forget if it's a positive or negative charge, but it's one of them. It fuses with the nano, or even any kind of heavy metals that's not supposed to be in the body, and it takes it out. So basically, we're running tests. We're actually doing human trials. This is not just me talking about, oh, try this product. We're actually doing human trials, and that's where Jesse's been in the UK. They are testing these people that have these MAC addresses that are attached to them, putting them on the zeolite, and testing them every 30 days until the MAC address disappears.
MAC address. What's that?
MAC address. Like a MAC address, like like
the IP address, like for your
an
computer.
IP address, but yeah. These people are admitting MAC addresses,
like MacBooks,
wow, really?
like
yes.
IBM. Yeah.
No, wow, okay. Sorry, I didn't know that. Whoa, okay.
Yeah,
Man,
so
that's crazy.
I know. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, we're not just like promoting a project or anything. We're actually doing human trials, and trying to, let the public know that we do have something to help them, especially if you're having, symptoms. I just went to a retreat not too long ago, and there was this girl that had this girl, her name's Robbie. I hope she doesn't get mad I said her name, but she was at the retreat, and she said that she has these popping sounds in her ear, and then she has this Morse code on the other ear. And so she started taking the masterpiece, and it's starting to go away. So I know that whenever somebody tells me something like that, they may not even know that they may be affected by this phenomenon. So
Wow. This is just absolutely mind-blowing tonight. And I mean, I've been hearing that, you see these videos like on TikTok and my trusted news source these days, I tell you what. But on social media, they've got these videos of people going around to like graveyards, and
yes,
and they're taking these detectors and they're picking up on radio signals coming from the graves.
that's who we're working with. That's
Really?
yeah, that's who we're working with. It's the people from the UK. That's the human studies. That's the human antenna documentary that's pulling from.
Wow. Well, we have a question, Deserie. Have you spoken with Sabrina Wallace?
I know who she is, and I love to watch her work, but I've never spoken to her. I don't think she knows who I am, so but I know who she is.
That's fantastic. Well, I'm
Yeah.
just glad that there are people like yourself, Deserie, who and your team that are actively working to expose this. Expose is a heavy word, right? But especially for YouTube. but just shedding light on it. And that's what we like to do here on my channel. We like to shed light, okay, on all this dark
Absolutely.
stuff that's going on, because humanity is under attack, okay, in
Yeah.
every direction. We're getting hit from all sides. And this is a big one. And it makes me wonder, okay, so I have a question from the very beginning of the show, Deserie. You're talking about how everybody, all these people you've tested have this something inside of them that's going to activate with a flip of a switch, right? Or a push of a button. What's going to happen when people are activated? Like, what is this? That they die? Is there some kind of like,
No,
are they going to
no,
go
they're not gonna
crazy?
die.
Like, what do you
It'll
think is
just
going to happen?
be complete control, whoever is gonna turn the switch on.
Mind control?
Complete control. Complete control.
Mind control. Bodily functions and everything.
Yeah, it's going to be imagine you have these memories, these amazing memories or of something, and they take those memories away and they say, hey, why don't you vote for this person? They have values, and
Oh.
then forget that you didn't want to vote for that person. Just an example. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but it's going to be some sort of like mind control, where they can control the whole population and basically making us, like busy bees, or making us do whatever they want us to do. But I know that all I know is that what they have done to myself and many others. You can break free from it as long as you're able to stick with connecting the source, being in the light. I've seen so many of my friends that are going through this, completely lose it, and you can't even have conversations with them because they're gone, like their mind is gone. But I don't know what to think, but if you're a Christian, this would be considered the mark of the beast. That's what this is. We're going to be in a world where we're going to have a digital ID, and if you don't follow the rules, they could zap you. They can make sure you're not able to buy food, that your currency will be in our body. I mean, I really feel that that's where this is headed if we don't stop them.
I noticed that Jesse said several times he believes that many people will be activated when they start 6G, if not everybody.
Yeah, that's what he says, is that he thinks that that's when everybody will get turned on. All it is a frequency that they have to admit to the whole world, the frequency, and then everybody will, get turned on. I don't even know how it got this far and how we allowed this to happen, but it's happening right now. And just so everyone knows, is that we're actively fighting this, and there's more people behind us working with us that I'm not allowed to say, that would blow your mind if you guys knew. But there's a lot of active people working with us to try to stop it, expose it. We have a lot of different layers of different people working with us, working on different projects to get this exposed and stopped.
because we have no neurocognitive law in place for any of us. That is important. I've been saying that a long time. So there is no protection from these experiments going on that we've been talking about this entire time. There is no neurocognitive law for people that has to change immediately, or we're all going to be victim.
It's actually not illegal to experiment on us. If you go to our www.stop3024, we have a petition stating that we're going to repeal section 3024. Let me just make sure I got that right. I'm going to pull that up real quick. We have a petition going on because it's not illegal to experiment on us. Let me find that. Stop 2034. Let me see if I can find it. You would think I would know it as much as I say it all the time. It's Stop 3024 is the petition. So if you just go to that, sign our petition. We're trying to get 1 million signatures so we can get this ban be able to experiment on us without our consent.
Oh my gosh. Well, everybody, y'all go to sign up for that. And also, I wanted to pull up your website as well with Mind Nexus, because this is where people can go. I'm going to share the screen if it'll work. This is where people can go to actually get a scan, right? You sign up to get a scan, or you guys have to go. You have to be there in person, though, right, Deserie?
Yes, you have to be there in person. You can get a one-on-one scan, or you can go to one of our clinics. Right now, we're having a clinic in Los Angeles in March 14th, and then we're having one in Atlanta, Georgia on April the 4th, and then we're having one in Denver, or actually Fort Wayne in May, and then we're having one in Denver, Colorado in June. So that's what we have.
I live near Atlanta. I might have to come sign up for a scan. Actually, if you're coming to Atlanta.
Yeah, we're gonna April the 2nd and 3rd is when we're going to be there, and yeah, just like reach out to me, and then I'll let you know all the details. And we ask that you get 2 different kinds of scans. One is to test for the active ones, and then that's the RF frequency detector scan, so that I'll tell if there's active frequencies. And that, I think that's a really important one. And then the second one is a nonlinear junction scan detector, and that will test for active and non-active.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it is. That's great.
It is. That's fantastic. Yeah, this is actually cosmicclarityconnections.org, you guys, but it's also mindnexuslive.com as well. You guys can go to and sign up for a scan for this. I think it's wonderful what you're doing, Deserie. I'm super impressed. And man, I'm just glad that we've kind of brought it to the forefront. I know that the data, Barry always makes sense of my data. I don't know what the data means. Okay. For my remote viewing targets, Barry's the one that gives it all the credibility. Okay. And it makes it and helps it fit into, into what we're talking about, because this was so beyond what I ever imagined, any kind of target. I don't ever have any kind of idea of what my targets are going to be, because Barry gives me some interesting targets, right? But this is really interesting. And there's something else, like somebody in the chat, I think Mother Goose had written something about Operation Blood Mist or something like that. Well, this is something that the only thing that I left out of the data that I didn't say was in my intangible column was actually mist and oxygen. Mist and oxygen was also in my data. And and I don't think that I mentioned that when I was in there, but when I saw that, I was like, wait a second, mist and oxygen's in my data. All the data, Deserie, I'll send you all the data. I thought you already had it. I didn't know Barry was surprising you tonight. So I'll send you all this, and you can look over it, because there may be a couple of things that we didn't go over tonight that might make more sense.
Yeah, what else you leave out, Jones?
I didn't mean to leave it out. But it said that it just said oxygen and mist, and I wasn't, I just didn't think. I guess I didn't think it was important, but actually, it kind of is. Like we're taught not to leave anything out. Okay, And I left that out when I was talking, I guess.
You
But,
get a
but
thumbs
anyways,
down that one, Jones.
thumbs down. I know it happens. It happens. But
Wow.
but I think this is awesome. What do you think, Barry? What is your overall conclusion and your analysis of what everything we talked about tonight?
You know, being that as prime intelligence, this hybrid type things comes up, it makes me wonder if the true prime intelligences are non-physicals, and it's somewhere that they're trying to incarnate, and that's what's going on. And this is a perfect place, as we know this is nearly a prison planet. It's definitely the school of hard knocks. And they're trying to gain access here, so they can, that's what it seems like to me. And we're dealing with these beings that might be from whatever realm, vibration, or frequency that are trying to incarnate into these hybrid clone body things, or whatever, this hybrid project, or create a new race. I don't know. There's something going on though. It's very negative.
Yeah.
Treacherous into robots.
I think it's more than just, what's the word? Loose harvesting. I think it's a little more than that.
Yeah.
And is this the way that Earth gets upgrades as far as Homo sapiens? Is that how they do it? How they change
Speculation.
things? Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. So, of course, speculation. I always like to start off with that because I don't want people to say like I have proof of this, because some stuff I can say I have evidence and proof. This I don't. And that being said, I totally just forgot what I was about to say.
It happens to me all the time.
Oh yeah. I just totally forgot what I was going to say. I was going to touch base on. Okay. Okay. So I do believe, speculation, of course, is that some of this technology was back engineered by ET technology, but Duncan disputed me on that. He said that humans are more capable of creating this technology that we know of, and so he kind of like threw that down. And but I always thought that maybe it was something to do with that. I have never I have never seen or an alien or a ship or anything like that, but I've had a lot of encounters with like multidimensional beings, like spirits more than anything. So that's been happening to me as a child ever since I was a little girl. So I've always experienced something like that. But going back to, what Duncan was saying, is that it did come from us because he helped create it, he said. But he's just talking about the voice to skull technology. That's a whole different subject that we're talking about. A lot of times these people have these voices, and it's usually two men and a female, and they sometimes they play good cop and bad cop, and they go back and forth with communicating with the inner voice, and that's basically torture for somebody. I just imagine somebody telling you you're a piece of shit all the time, or you're ugly, or you're fat, or it literally breaks down the spirit, and there's no way you can hide from it. You can't shut your ears. You can't play music. It's just constantly in your mind. So there's a lot of people that are being tortured with this technology, and then also with the directed energy weapons. And there are people that do have radiation burns on their body from this technology, and it's a really sad. And I know I told you the story about the one particular person that killed himself, but there's multiple people in my community that kill themselves because they can't take the torture. They lose touch of reality.
And think about how it's affecting our children as well. And if they're targeting our kids, I did a show. I have my good friend Sherry Divband has a YouTube channel, and she has a children's kind of like a school. It's called Artemis School. And we've had some conversations. Our kids are actually friends. We speak at conferences, and sometimes we'll take our kids, and we have these conversations about, there's a big rise in like depression in children right now, and like hearing these voices. And I fully believe that they are getting bombarded with all of this technology just as much as we are, if not more.
Well, speaking about that, we know this engineer that we're really good friends with. He had went and got a scan with us, and he believed that his children were also being targeted. He said because one of his children had started saying that somebody is singing ABCs to him. So he said, okay, so I need to get my children tested. So he put these children in a Faraday cage and bought just like an equipment like what we use, but it's not exactly what we have. It's an RF detector, and he placed it around his children, and he was coming out positive. So he came to one of our clinics and brought his children, which was 3 and 5, and unfortunately, the children tested positive for active frequencies. So it is happening to the children. I'm not saying
That
every
really,
child is like turned on, but it was happening to his. And that's a whole different ballgame for us. It really pissed us off because
yeah, it
before it
makes
was
me
they
mad.
didn't go after children.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it was really sad. Everybody was just stood quiet in disbelief. But the father knew as soon as the child told him that they're hearing their ABCs being sang to them in their mind, he knew that there's something wrong. And
Man.
then another thing too that we have kind of discovered is that think about every person that you know, a family member, a friend, um, that has been diagnosed with some kind of mental illness. Okay, so
Mhm.
what if that was synthetically induced? Okay,
Oh, yeah.
so far, anytime somebody that has been diagnosed with schizophrenia or any kind of like disorder, mental disorder comes to us, and again, we don't practice medicine, we're a technology-based company. um, they come to us and they're testing positive for active frequencies going, around their person, and then we're like, holy shit, I mean, is anybody really schizophrenic? I mean, that's what our study is showing us.
Oh my God. And, there's been some announcements that they're actually going to bring back all the insane asylums and stuff. Remember that?
Oh,
I
I heard
don't know if you've
that.
heard that, but imagine what if that's like a targeted thing. I'm not being a conspiracy theorist here. I'm just kind of putting it out there. But what if they are opening up these? I don't. They don't call them asylums anymore, but these places where people with
But
mental illness go, right? Talking about the homeless populations and people that have addictions and things like that. Go in here. What if it's just a place to, it's a place to corral all the targeted individuals, basically. I'm just for
well,
entertainment
it wouldn't be,
purposes
it wouldn't be
only.
hard because prisons and mental
I
health
know.
hospitals
Yeah.
are the main places that you have negative inorganic beings and
Thank
earthbound
you.
spirits and
Better word.
everything else gathering in mass.
Thank you.
Okay, that's one of those that's one of those things, especially them being publicly traded also. So I mean, it wouldn't take much. I saw somebody you pulled up. Somebody mentioned Jerry Marzinski. He sent me a few clients actually. I've never met the man. He I put out something about voices a while ago, and then people started referring me to his work. He's quite genius, but that's a prime example. Like I would always tell my clients, they were juveniles, the ones that heard voices. I told a lot of them, those are voices are coming from outside of yourself. They may sound like you, but they're always the same thing that you're talking about, Desiree. Those
Mhm.
voices, you can't trust them. They tear people
Right.
down. They fuel the negative self, creating negative identities through trauma. And that's exactly what that V2K is doing. They've just taken it from being the inorganics, being it, doing it telepathically, to being a psionic sound, microwave audio spotlight thing. And, you know,
Well, this is a good thing to talk about. How do you know you are listening to your guides or is it V2K? And I can tell you how you can
Yeah.
tell. V2K will get louder if there's a fan running, water running, air conditioner running, and the voices get louder and more clearer. That's V2K because it bounces off of sound. So that's how you can tell if it's a voice to skull technology. Just turn on some water or a
Yeah,
fan.
can you say that again? My thing blipped out when you were talking there. Can you say that again? I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I can say it again. Okay.
Sorry.
So if you want to tell if it's true V2K or even maybe, if you're curious about it, all you would have to do is turn on some running water or a fan or an air conditioning because the voices get louder when you're around sound because the technology, when it's aimed at you, it bounces off of sound and it gets louder.
Wow.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's good information there. Thank you.
That is good information.
Wow.
Yeah, and so that's another thing too. I'm trying to think whatever else. Oh, just any information that I can tell you that I've learned from doing what I do. This is another one. I just give me 1 second. My dog is trying to get out. Let me let the dog out real quick.
Barry, while she's gone, can I ask you a question? Because I know there are people in the audience that are wondering, what is V2K? Is that voice to skull technology?
Yeah, that creates the Havana syndrome and all that stuff. Yeah, they call it voice to God technology. And interesting,
voice
she
to
had
skull
just mentioned
technology.
she had mentioned different voices that came in. Did you say something about that, Desiree? Like 2 voices or?
Oh yeah, it's not all the time, but it usually is a 2 men and a woman that are the voices that you hear is 2 men and a woman, and they kind of like argue with each other, or they act like one's trying to help you and the other one's not helping you. It's
Wow, I never heard
the
that.
same.
Really?
Yeah, it's the same kind of like when people tell you about their experiences, it's usually a bad cop, good cop. And so okay, I was going to say something else. Do you remember what I was talking about right when I had to let the dog out?
It was something new that you found out in your work.
Oh, okay. So I'm really good friends with this professor out of California. He wrote a book about cloaking technology, and he had met the person that made who patented the cloaking technology, and I guess it was like sold to the military. And I got some, and the reason why I found him is, because I do believe that they use cloaking technologies to run experiments on people, basically to mess with them, like so I reached out to this person, and I'm like, okay, so I think that give me some more information. What can you tell me about this cloaking technology? What can what knowledge can you give me? He said, if you ever think that there is cloaking technology around you and you sense it, all you got to do is grab a mirror, put it up back like behind you, and put it and then move it in motion. It malfunctions the cloaking technology, but it has to be a
No.
mirror from the back moving, and it has to be in motion. So he gave me that information, and I like to pass that out too, especially with your kind of audience, because they probably, ever think there's something cloaking in the sky. All you got to do, grab a mirror, put it up against you, and back, and look in the mirror and move it, and then it won't completely it won't like completely like not be cloaked, but it'll malfunction. So just more stuff that I've learned from people.
Oh, that's
Well, Desiree,
interesting.
actually, so I'm out in the field a lot doing this Bigfoot field research and out there looking for cryptids. And there are cases where we hear about these glimmer men and stuff, like the glimmer, like the predator out in the woods and stuff. And I've got some of my Bigfoot buddies. David Pardue's in the chat. What's up, David? But we're out there, and there's a possibility that there's cloaked. Well, we have cloaked Bigfoots and stuff out there. But I think that there's people out there that have cloaking technology as well. And so that is a wonderful thing to take. I actually carry a mirror in my backpack anyways when I'm out there, just for emergencies, in case I get lost and have to like shine the light, sun on the mirror and all that kind of stuff. But good tips. Thank you so much for this. Yeah, we need to know all of the tricks. We
Yeah,
do.
you need to know all of the
Yeah.
drugs. But yeah, those are the ones that I know, and I've gotten this from, especially the cloaking technology, because the guy that wrote the book, who the professor, he's a college professor in California, he wrote a book about it. He actually met the guy who developed the cloaking technology that sold to the military, and that's how we got this information. And there's a lot of people in my community, the TI community, that would say that they believe that there was somebody physically there, cloaked somehow. And they would say, as crazy as that sounds. And I'm like, you know what? Nothing's crazy to me anymore. I mean, I've heard some stories. But yeah, so when I got this information from this guy, his name is Robert Guffey. If you guys want to look him up, Robert Guffey. He's on YouTube. He was on Coast to Coast. So he's just a really good friend of mine. So he gave me all this information. So of course I try to do it, but there's obviously there's nothing around me right now. But I wish I would have had that information before. And also too, cloaking technology sometimes can come up as orbs. He says that whenever there's like something in front of you that's cloaked, you'll see an orb around them too. Not all the time, but sometimes it glitches and you'll see that orb.
What?
I know they've got
That
the
is a
different
constant. I'm sorry, Barry. I don't mean to interrupt you. That is a constant when we're out in the field doing our research and stuff. And we do a lot of our research at like national parks. There's, federal land, state land, and orbs. I've always said orbs are always a constant. Every time we're out there, there's orbs. So now there's a whole other meaning to orbs.
Yeah, it's this is what the information that he told me. And
Wow.
I would just like I would have carry a big mirror with you, and I know that just sounds weird, but just to test it. And I would love to hear if you ever see anything. But this is a cloaking technology. This is human made. This is not if a being is cloaked or ET is cloaked. I'm pretty sure it wouldn't work on this. This is just man-made stuff.
Well, I think a lot of what we experience out there is man-made stuff. I don't buy into everything being a Bigfoot out there. I don't buy into even the portals and things that we've documented out there. I think those are man-made. I think a lot of that stuff is man-made. I feel like I live in the Truman Show, honestly.
Right.
You can research the portals that they're able to make in labs and about where they're at with that now. And concerning, the cloaking thing, they've got for a while now, they've had these different metamaterials that are made from quasi-crystal bases and other things that they use for cloaking and to bend the light around people. And now, I've been seeing more how they've evolved the quote unquote quantum dots too, and how they're actually covering aircraft and quantum dots for invisibility. So it's really interesting how far that's going, and let alone the other technology they're developing. I look in this individual you mentioned. That sounds really interesting to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
So,
y'all, this
like Predator taken to the 5th level.
Oh yeah. Hey, we get a lot of reports of like these predator creatures out there, and I'm thinking like I've kind of joked around about this before. It's probably people in spandex cloaking suits. That's what I think. Can they make spandex cloaking material? I think so. Probably. Our what do they call those?
Have you guys ever seen that movie Invisible Man?
Yeah. He's trying.
You seen it?
He's going up in chicks' cribs, man. He was a sorry cat.
Well, I think it's called. Hang on, let me see. I'm gonna make sure I'm calling it right.
Was that Hollow Man?
Invisible Man. Let me see. Yeah, Invisible Man. Definitely need to watch that. That is a soft disclosure. I definitely recommend you guys watching that movie, because that's what a TI goes through. What this movie is basically she's getting targeted by someone using cloaking technology that's basically messing with her psyche. So definitely watch it. It's a really good movie, and I believe it's self-disclosure.
One more time.
Man.
Oh, can you guys hear me? I'm hearing.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me? Okay. So it's called The Invisible Man. But that's
Invisible Man. Okay.
you know,
I think about Hollow Man.
The Invisible Man. It came out in 2020, and it's basically somebody using cloaking technology to terrify a woman and make her lose her mind and make everyone believe that she's crazy all around her. And but what he's really using is cloaking technology. It's such a great movie because this is what these TIs are going through.
Man. You know, it's interesting how all these things connect too. I mean, even though I come from the Bigfooting world and the cryptid, you know, field research world, we're dealing with stuff like this too, just out in the field. I wonder if they're like testing out their products on us out in the woods. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
That's what I'm wondering. Because, you know, well, here's another thing. Like I was out on an investigation out in Alabama a couple of months ago, and I got hit with infrasound. And I am not convinced that wasn't a human that hit me with the infrasound device, because I got so sick. I mean, I got a horrible migraine. I was vomiting. I eventually fell asleep because I was so sick. And another person on my team got hit as well. And some of the people that go out and do this research, and we're out at these national parks and stuff, I think they're using their equipment on us.
Yeah.
Hey, is that when you also saw the individuals with the lights that y'all couldn't find out where it's coming from? That might have been like
flashlights. We thought it was the other team that was out there with us, and they thought it was us. But there were flashlights. There were lights out in the woods. They clearly looked like people out there, but we never could find out who those. We were the only ones out there, we thought, until we got hit with infrasound. So could have been that. Good call, Barry.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just testing. We're their little guinea pigs out there in the woods, you know, I guess.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
interesting.
seems.
You can chat. You got a sharp chat tonight. Been looking over there. There's some very intelligent people over there. Wow.
We do.
Oh, well, I don't even know how I can see the chat.
You can go over to the side of the screen, and it should say live chat where the private chat
or comments. Just push comments.
The comments, yeah, go to comments.
Oh, okay. This whole entire time I didn't see any of the
Well, you know, okay, so on StreamYard tonight, because I've got a couple of computers open and I've got my phone open because I'm watching the chat from my phone. I can't do much from my phone, but StreamYard is slow again, so it makes it where I can't see the live comments, y'all, and eventually it'll like speed up. I don't know, this StreamYard's it's been sucking lately, but anyways, yeah, there's a lot of fun comments. Yeah, so we're kind of behind on the comments, y'all. Sorry about that. I can see them on my phone though. So yeah. I want to thank. I've got a lot of people that have gifted memberships and stuff tonight. So maybe I should take a quick commercial break before we. I know it's we probably need to wrap the show up because I know it's getting late. And a lot of us have to work. We live on the East Coast and stuff.
Yeah,
so it's late. But before we go tonight, I wanted to thank Melissa Downer. Thank you so much for being here, Melissa, and being a member of the Hunt Club. Bobby Singleton, thank you for gifting all those memberships for the Hunt Club too. I appreciate you. And Terry Brown, thank you so much for that super sticker. You're so sweet. And also Leisha Fox, thank you so much for that super sticker. I really appreciate that. And you guys are so sweet with all the support. And for all the moderators that have been here tonight, we've had a really big chat tonight. A lot of people tuned in, and this is such important information, y'all. And I know it just pertains to all the different communities and all the different things that we're all experiencing. There's always dots to connect here. And so, yeah, and I'm not kidding. I really do think that they're out there in the woods using some of this technology on us as we're out there chasing Bigfoots and things like that. I really do.
Well, it's always been a question of who's studying you all out there. You think you're studying Bigfoot. Are they studying you, or are you being studied by this phenomenon?
It's all really, of it. Yeah. I don't know. It really does kind of depend too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Nathan, I see your super sticker. Thank you so much. It's not coming up on my StreamYard yet, but thank you, Nathan. That's so sweet. He said we need to get you a new MacBook Pro. I have a new computer. I just can't use it because my audio wasn't working. I just bought it today, y'all. My computer literally crashed and it won't even turn on or anything. So yeah, so I'm having technical glitches bad today and tonight. I'm on an old computer, y'all. And so yeah, I mean, we've made it through over 2 hours of a show. I think we're okay. We made it. We made it. My mouth might not match up to what I'm saying. Okay. But y'all just
It's
go to
just
the podcast.
yours.
Yeah, it is what it is, y'all. It is what it is. Sometimes when I have something very important, like an important target and important information, we will have massive glitches. Massive. And I don't know if it's by design or what, but I think it is. So I don't know. Deserie, thank you so much for being here tonight. And Barry, you too. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for doing the target, and thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
It's been really a good one. And I think it's very good information, whatever, entertainment only or whatever, but very cool. And I appreciate you both, definitely. It makes sense. It all comes full circle to me while we're all at that conference together here tonight, you know?
Oh, yeah, for sure. That was a conference where we had the chicken in the boxes that first night we went, right?
Yeah, that's what we all met you there. Yeah. The chicken night. Yeah. And there's another TI there that was very descriptive. But before that, I only met a couple of TIs like Susan Long and a few others, but not like there. That was a different one there. I learned so much at that conference concerning this. So, I mean, especially from you, Deserie, it took it to the next level. Some things I'd heard, like the beings had told me about and stuff, but you confirmed so much of that, with real scientific evidence. That's where it's at. Boom.
Yeah. The science. The science. Deserie, where do you think we're going? What does the future hold for us right now? I mean, and what can we do as individuals right now? I know you mentioned some things to detox on and stuff like that, but I mean, is there hope for humanity? Because I always keep hope that everything's going to be okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. I do believe that there's certain people that have incarnated here at this time. And that's why we're here. That's why right now we're all talking right now, because there's certain people that incarnated here and they're on a mission to basically help humanity to raise the vibration. And I believe that there is hope, and that we were sent here, or we agreed to come here, one of the two. And that's why we're here. And this is all this. I still 100% believe that this is all a simulation anyways, and that we're all in a play, and I'm playing this actor right now, and you're playing your part, and Barry's playing his part, and we're here for lessons. So I do believe that we came here, we're stopping this transhumanism agenda, and I think there is hope, and that's why there's so many people that jumped on board to help us. I do see there's light at the end of the tunnel.
You better be careful, though. Your evidence is crushing some fantasies, man. Sorry, it's true though. People want fantasy, not scientific evidence.
Right.
Sorry, Jessica, to interrupt.
No, it's all a pretty deep rabbit hole too. All the topics that we cover here, but this is real life. We're sitting here worried about things that are, the lines in the sky. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Mm-hmm. They have been really bad lately, and I'm always suspicious that we're breathing things in. You're talking about having things in your air ducts and stuff. And I mean, it's affecting all of us, not only us, our children, our pets, our food, our water. I mean, everything is affected right now. And if you sit around and worry about it too much, it's just very, very depressing. And it's like, gosh, we're just, like I said, we're under attack. I mean, we've been under attack for a long time. Like, especially, I do the whole remote viewing stuff, and our psychic abilities have been under attack for centuries. Okay, for decades, definitely. And so, yeah, it's a matter. There's enough of us, I think, out here that are trying to make some good changes in this world, and just keeping the hope, okay, and shining the light on the darkness, because good Lord, there's a lot of darkness out there, girl. Y'all, mm-hmm. There's a lot of darkness out there. And
plenty.
Yeah. Plenty, man. Ask Barry, he knows all about it. Right, Barry?
Yeah, and I'm not talking about melanin either.
Oh my gosh, I just heard what is that skit with Charlie Murphy and Rick James. He's like, darkness, everybody. Okay, I don't know, it's from Dave Chappelle. Y'all got to watch that. It's funny. Okay, but anyways.
I know what you're talking about.
I love it. I love it. You know what I'm talking about? Darkness, everybody. There's darkness in the world, though. Okay. And oh man, we gotta have some fun, y'all. We gotta have fun. And if we're not laughing, we're crying. Okay.
Yeah.
But anyways, Deserie, okay, where's the best place to find you? I know I pulled up your website a while ago. I always try to leave in the show with, like, you know, just give them your website or wherever people can find you.
Yeah, mindnexuslive.com, or you can go to cosmicclarityconnections.org. It leads you to the same place. Yeah, you got it right there. That's our website. You can subscribe to us, where we can give you newsletters on where our clinics are going to be, what shows we're going to be on. And we're currently filming a documentary called Died Suddenly Nanosapiens. We're currently filming that right now, and that should be coming soon. If you haven't seen the show from Redacted that we just dropped, that's already at 500,000 views, and that's probably the best information that you can look at right now. I know that we're going to have Jesse on your show. We just have to coordinate. You have to, like, give him 3 different dates for the future for him to pick one. We do have a team that does his scheduling, but all I would have to do is just put you in an email. That way we can see you. Jesse's a little bit, more serious than I am, because this has some serious information that he's going to give. He's an expert in frequencies, and he is the front line of this all. So that's really important. And it would kind of be fun too if you allowed him to do a target the way you did me. He would love that,
I would love
he would
to.
definitely love that. So, but yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah, you can find us on Mind Nexus Live. I'm also on Facebook. You can keep, you can follow me there, or just subscribe to our newsletter. We're constantly giving out information on what we're doing, where we're going to be, scanning at, and then where we're filming.
Wonderful. That is so awesome. And thank you, Deserie. Thank you for what you're doing. Okay.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
so much. And I can't wait to meet Jesse as well too. And
Yeah.
let's be done with it. Be done with it. Be done with it. I love y'all's names. Y'all are so funny. Be done with it. Thank you for the super sticker. I appreciate you. Thank you. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt there, but I had to acknowledge that right there. That was very sweet. But I can't wait to see what the future holds for your organization, and just getting even the data, like when you have more people getting scanned, and like seeing like what the consensus is down the road. I mean, you're already doing cutting edge stuff, but down the road,
I find it interesting how a lot of people making the huge claims won't get scanned. Don't you find that interesting, Deserie? I'm just saying, if I had the huge claims I've heard some making, I would be in there getting scanned immediately.
Absolutely.
I have experiences like that, and I still want to get scanned.
I have offered, I'm not going to say any names, but a few, maybe 2 people, a free scan, which, and I was denied, and basically said, why do you want to do that? Or where's the information going to go? So it was just a little bit of somebody, being paranoid, which is understandable. But if you saw the work that we were doing, you would understand it comes from a good place. All I'm doing is trying to help to give the information to let them know that this could be another possibility of what you're experiencing. And again, I don't know for sure, but why not rule that out?
That's an excellent point. I want to get scanned. I'd love to get scanned. And and I think from me wanting to get scanned would stem from that incident we had out in the woods, where we had the whole missing time and stuff. I mean, who wouldn't want to know? Do you know what I mean? Barry's always he's always joking around. Barry, you joke around a lot about how I haven't had a regression done yet with you. I had a small one done a while back. But yeah, I do need to. I would like to know. I don't think I'd been ready yet.
You have a regression with me, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And they're
I've
not,
seen
they're
some
not
weird
always
stuff.
bad. They're not always bad, sometimes, but not always.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, you guys, thank y'all so much for all the information tonight and for being wonderful guests. I appreciate y'all. Please come back, Desiree. Barry, I know you'll be back. Yeah, I'll be back.
Absolutely.
Like a great
I'll
one.
drag
Thank
you
you for
along
doing
with
the
me.
target, Jessica. And thank you for suggesting it, Desiree. Really cool.
It was an honor to be on your show. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Awesome. Well, you guys, I want to thank the audience for being here and sticking with us for almost 2.5 hours tonight. It's been amazing. And thank you to everybody for all your support and all your love. I will be back with a live show Saturday night. Yes, I'm going to be in Alabama. I'm speaking at a Paracon in Gardendale, Alabama. If anybody wants to go, the information's on my website for the Vanished premiere. I am in that documentary. And so y'all come see me out there on Saturday, but I will be back Saturday night here live with a brand new show for everybody. So y'all come see me. I'm going to have my audio worked out and my computer worked out. Y'all have a new computer. I just couldn't get it working tonight. Okay. So, but anyways, y'all please stay safe out there. And if you guys want to get a scan, please go to mindnexuslive.com and yeah, stay safe out there, everybody. And, keep your head on a swivel. Don't live in fear. We are all team human up in here. Okay.
Yes.
At least I am. I know we are. Us three on the screen are team human. And I'm assuming a lot of y'all are too. You better be. Okay. But y'all have a great night. Live in awareness, not in fear. And I will see you guys next time if I can get my computer to work. Here we go. Slowly but surely. All right, y'all. Have a great night. We'll see you later.